Hello viewers, we were discussing analysis of a balance section. Let us have a quick recall. For balance section, the steel on tension side reaches to its yield strain simultaneously when the extreme compression fibers on compression side reach to their ultimate compressive strain 0.0035. So this is the bending strain distribution diagram for balance section at failure. The position of neutral axis from extreme compression fibers at failure is denoted by notation XUB. The value of strain equal to 0.002 occurs at the distance of 3/7 XUB from extreme compression fibers. From this, we had also drawn corresponding bending stress distribution diagram. In this bending stress distribution diagram, steel will be stressed at the level of 0.87 Fy because we are talking about the failure of a balance section. So at failure, the steel in balance section would reach stress corresponding to strain of yield strain, that is 0.87 Fy, and extreme compression fibers will reach stress corresponding to 0.0035, that is 0.446 FCK. The stress block is rectangular till 3/7 XUB from extreme compression fiber, and then it is parabolic. Due to compressive stresses above the neutral axis, we are going to have ultimate compressive force, and due to tensile stresses in steel, we are going to have ultimate tensile force. The lever arm between the two, we have derived it to be equal to D minus 0.42 XUB. Then we define something called as neutral axis factor. So XUB is KUB into D, where KUB is the neutral axis factor for balance section, and we showed KUB equal to 0.0035 by 0.0055 plus Fy upon 1.15 ES. Then we found out moment of resistance of a balance section at failure, and that was derived to be equal to RUB into BD square, where BD square are the geometrical properties, whereas RUB depends upon the material, that is grade of concrete and steel. RUB was derived to be equal to 0.36 FCK KUB into bracket 1 minus 0.42 KUB. Now let us march ahead. Let me ask the question, what is the value of percentage of steel that I can provide to make this section balance? So let us work out that. For doing so, what we are going to do is we are going to equate this compressive force and tensile force. Because if we call this direction as x, then at equilibrium, summation Fx must be equal to 0. So for summation Fx to be equal to 0, you must have Cu equal to Tu. Now Cu can be written as 0.36 FCK BXU, and as this is for balance section, I am going to write it as XUB. This must be equal to 0.87 Fy, which is stress in steel at failure for balance section. So 0.87 Fy into area of steel. So therefore, I can write down area of steel to be equal to 0.36 FCK. Now XUB, I am going to replace it by KUB into D. So I will write it as KUB into D. So this BD will come here. Divided by 0.87 F1. So if I were to calculate the percentage of steel, I should divide this by BD and multiply it by 100. So I will divide this, I will denote this as percentage of steel on tension side. So PST will be equal to 100 into AST by BD. So here also I should multiply by 100 by BD. So this BD cancels out. And let us work out how much this constant turns out to be. So 0.36 by 0.87 into 100. So let us work out that. Therefore, percentage of steel, and as it is for balance section, let us say PSTB. So percentage of steel for balance section works out to be 41.38 into FCK into KUB divided by Fy. Now quickly do a small exercise. Let me find out the value of percentage of balanced steel for Fe 415 and M20 grade concrete. So we know for Fe 415 value of KUB is 0.48. So if I substitute KUB equal to 0.48, Fy equal to 415 and FCK equal to 20, I get percentage of balanced steel is equal to 0.96%. Now we can try with different grades of steel and different grades of concrete, and we can have percentage of balanced steel. So to summarize, for a balanced section, we require to calculate three constants. The first one is called as neutral axis factor, which depends only on grade of steel and not on grade of concrete. The second one is called as moment of resistance factor for balanced section. It depends upon grade of concrete and grade of steel both. And third one is percentage of tension steel for a balanced section. This also depends upon grade of concrete and grade of steel. So it is advisable to memorize these expressions. Once you have once you have understood the process of deriving these expressions, there is no harm in memorizing these expressions. So here we have completed analysis of balanced section. Before marching ahead, now let us ask a conceptual question to ourselves. Just have a look at bending strain distribution diagram drawn for balance section at failure. In our definition of failure, we said that the extreme compression fiber would reach to ultimate strain of concrete in uniaxial compression, and that is 0.0035. So this value is ultimate strain in uniaxial compression for concrete. So I will denote it as epsilon UC or epsilon CU, whatever it is. And we allowed the steel to reach yield strain on tension side. Now, doesn't this puzzle you? Why such a discrepancy? I am allowing extreme compression fibers of concrete to reach its ultimate strength 0.0035, whereas I am allowing steel to reach only its yield strain and not ultimate strain. So why such discrepancy? Why would I allow a particular material to reach only yield strain and the other material to reach its ultimate strain under uniaxial compression? So let us try to answer this question by looking at stress strain curves of steel and concrete drawn on a single curve. So if you look at, we are plotting stress on y-axis and strain on x-axis. So if you look at this curve for concrete, it is going to look something like this. This is parabolic and then it is constant. This value of strain is 0.0035. This value of strain is 0.002. We have discussed this earlier. As against this, the stress strain curve for steel looks something like this. Of course, it's elastoplastic idealization. And the value of strain corresponding to the failure point is going to be 0.14. The value at which the yielding commences, this value is 0.002 plus Fy upon 1.15 Es. So therefore, this value turns out to be somewhere close to 0.004. Let us see. So look at the behavior difference in concrete and steel. Of course, we have drawn this curve, stress strain curve for concrete in compression, and we have drawn this stress strain curve for steel in tension. But there is a significant difference in behavior. The concrete, after reaching 0.002, fails in crushing at the strain value of 0.0035. And from the range 0.002 to 0.0035, the resistance or the stress remains constant. Whereas for steel, for a large range from 0.004 till 0.14, the stress remains constant. So as the strain epsilon y changes to strain epsilon u, you have large increase in strain, but the stress fairly remains constant. And therefore, the value of tensile force offered by AST is not going to change when the strain changes from yield strain to ultimate strain. But as the difference between ultimate strain and yield strain is large, that means we are going to allow huge deformation without breaking the steel into two parts and without increase in tensile force. This statement is not true for concrete. In concrete, we have this constant resistance or constant stress of 0.446 FCK only from strain value of 0.002 to 0.0035. So we understood that steel clearly is the ductile material, whereas the concrete has less ductility, it is brittle material. Now, if we allow this strain to reach to epsilon u, we will not change the tensile force because the stress would still remain 0.87 Fy. But the problem is, if we try to deform this beam any further, it will fail in snapping of the steel, and then we will not get the desired ductile failure. Therefore, owing to the ductile nature of steel, we allow this strain to reach only epsilon y at the envisaged failure. When the strain goes on increasing from epsilon y to epsilon u, the tensile force as per this idealized stress strain curve does not vary because the yield stress does not vary. Therefore, from epsilon y to epsilon u, you will have same value of Tu, same value of Cu, and therefore same moment of resistance. But the strain in steel goes on increasing excessively, and therefore we are going to allow the deformation of beam to occur without decrement in the moment of resistance. Therefore, we have such a discrepancy. We allow the ultimate compressive strain of concrete to reach 0. We allow the extreme compression fiber strain of concrete to reach its ultimate compressive strain 0.0035, whereas at failure, we say that we will restrict the strain in tension side steel to epsilon y. So let us summarize for today. Today we discussed about percentage of steel for balanced section, and its expression is 41.38 into FCK into KUB upon FY. So now we have three constants for balanced section in place. First is neutral axis factor, which helps us in locating the neutral axis from extreme compression fiber for balanced section. This KUB is independent of grade of concrete and depends on grade of steel. Then we have moment of resistance factor, that is RUB for balance section. It depends upon grade of concrete and grade of steel. It allows us to calculate moment of resistance of balance section as RUB into BD square. Then percentage of steel for balance section is also function of grade of concrete and grade of steel, and it is given by this expression. So with this, we will stop for today. Thank you.